Hey, welcome to part six. The previous part five, is on the members area. You become a cloud kernel, cloud ninja. These are the two members who can access those content. We will post many more parts in that group for paid members as well. So this channel is all about AWS, Google Cloud, and Azure certification. If you have not yet subscribed to so, and become a member to gain access to the full range of questions. So there's a company. They have a data lake on AWS. The data lake, it is made up of two components. What are those two components? What are those two components? Component one is this S3, and component two is RDS for Postgres. These guys need a reporting solution. So all data will come in the data lake, and then reports will sit on data lake. So in AWS world, if you think about reporting, always think about QuickSight. So with QuickSight, we have two options, A and B. C, I cannot see QuickSight. And D, they are making use of Athena, but not QuickSight. Athena is for query federation, not for reporting. So C is wrong clearly. We know why C and D both, because we cannot see QuickSight. Now, between A and B, the difference is A is just talking about IAM roles here, and B is talking about groups plus users. So B is correct in this context. A is wrong because just based on roles, you cannot, you, in this question, you understood the security requirement. They are telling, I have one group of people who can access any damn thing. Okay. And there is other group of people who can access very limited content. So it is like one group of people, VIPs and etc., who can get access up to the stage if there is a concert. And then there is other group of people, and other group of people can only take the audience seat. So, so similarly here we are having that kind of requirement. So if you have that kind of requirement, you issue two different kind of passes. One kind of pass is for VIP and the other is for general public. So that is done through appropriate users and groups in quick site world. So for me, this would be the answer. If you want to read more explanation, you can pause this piece. So it just says that QuickSight is the de facto reporting tool of AWS, and it is a managed service. It is managed. So read this. It will give you some more insight, and why other options are wrong. You can read this. I explained you, but you can read this also. So option B is our answer because they want a reporting solution, and QuickSight is my reporting solution, and they want to have two different kinds of audience viewing the report. I can set that up using groups and users. So is a company, they are implementing new business application, and the application runs on two EC2 instance. Okay, so they have like, this is one EC2 instance and this is other. Then they have uh, a bucket here. Okay, this is the bucket, S3 bucket, and what is kept here? Documents are kept here. So your goal is to make sure that one and two both can access this S3 bucket. So it's about policies, grants. That is the question about. So in the overall scheme, A looks correct. A is telling we will create one role for granting access to S3 bucket and attach the role to EC2. So we create one role R1, we attach the role here R1. We attach the role here R1 in both EC2 instances. Then it will work. So it is from administration perspective, it is simple. The beauty of role is that manual configuration is not required every time EC2 instance starts. So you can associate that in a instance profile for EC2. So when it starts, it will dynamically assume that role. So manually, you don't have to do anything during restarts. See, one very good thing about role is, see, you could have used username password, but then you will have to rotate the credentials. So IAM eliminates this need. You see this line, you read this line. This is important line, and other options are wrong. See, B is wrong because they tell guys use IBM policy or IAM policies. So policies, uh, you have you should not attach to EC2 directly. And it is a bad practice because it makes you vulnerable. Okay, and then IAM groups. So they are not designed for granting permissions to AWS resources like EC2. That's why this will not work. And user, see, like I told, if you create a user, then you have to give a password and then you have to rotate the password, refresh the password. Otherwise, a hack happened and everybody knows the password, they will keep using it. So you have to change the password. That is called credential rotation for each instance. And that also makes it less secure because a password hack happens, then how to do it? And it is complex also. Every time you have to take care of rotation. See, for rotation, you will put this in secrets manager and secrets manager will rotate this. But then one additional service you need, right? And you are increasing the cost. So it is not good. So option A is correct. Role, see, policy group user should not use that. Role is something which you should use. So this one is the next question. This they are saying you are designing a microservice which will convert a large image to small compressed images. Like Pinterest, Facebook, if you upload a very high resolution photograph, they uh, kind of convert it to compressed smaller format so that storage requirement is less. So now when you are uploading that image, so the microservice should store that image in S3. So it's like this is your application. Suppose this is your application A, and this is your bucket. Which bucket? Water bucket? No, this is S3 bucket. So when you upload via the application, the image goes here. Okay, the image is stored in this. Then processing is done. The image is compressed. Who does the compression? Lambda does. This Lambda compresses it. Then this compressed image is now there. So compressed image, you save it again in one more S3 bucket. This is for compressed. Okay. So here this piece compression happens, processing happens. Okay. This piece. Okay. We got the story. So what do we need to do? You need to design a solution for durable stateless components to process the image automatically. So this piece, this big piece, this is what you as a solution architect has to manage. Provide a solution for this. You have to provide. So here we already know we will use lambda function to compress. So we can create a queue because images are coming. So this image comes from this S3 bucket. You create a queue here or SQS queue. And this S3 bucket will send a notification, buddy, I got one more image to the queue when the image is uploaded. Okay. So once this is done, then what will be done? Lambda, you configure lambda and lambda, what will be the source of lambda? SQS. SQS says, boss, I have one new image. Lambda says, okay, give it to me. So the invocation happens. And when lambda says, buddy, I have processed it, it tells SQS that I have successfully processed. So SQS deletes the message in the queue. So that same image, you hear me, same image should not be processed twice. So duplication, you don't want duplication. That is why B is also good. These are the explanation for A. I have documented this, read it, pause this video and read it. And option B also, I have explained, pause this and read it. The problem with C is that it will not be stateless. It becomes stateful if uh, S3 monitoring is done with Lambda. So, so it violates the stateless requirement. And D is wrong because there is a extra overhead. And E, see this solution will not work because it is not designed for automatic image processing. Because it is sending email to the guy application owner. So why you require manual intervention here? So that is why E is wrong. A and B are our two answers. We chose two because question clearly says choose two. In actual certification also they clearly say choose two, and they will give you a checkbox. Otherwise, there is a option button if only one answer has to be selected. So this is the next one. There is a three-tier application that a company has. It's a kind of a website, and web servers are put on public subnet in a VPC, and application servers and database servers, they are in private subnets in a VPC, private subnet. So the company has deployed firewall appliance. They have a virtual appliance for firewall, and it's in an inspection VPC. So there is a public subnet, private subnet, and inspection VPC. As an architect, you need to integrate web application with the appliance to inspect all traffic with least operational overhead. See, public subnet, private subnet, and different VPC they have to talk. Then you need gateway load balancer. This one, this is required. So the network inspection or gateway load balancer, it can handle large volumes of traffic. and routing is also simple, and operational overhead is low because it is managed by AWS, so you don't have to worry about availability, scaling. So the company will not spend much on operational overhead. But you see, A NLB, they are not optimized for network inspection, and ALB is for HTTPS, not for inspecting network traffic. And C transit gateway. So if you want to connect one VPC, so this suppose you have VPC 1 and VPC 2, you want to connect, it can connect, but it cannot work for network inspection. So D, option D is our answer in this case. So this next one, company they want to improve the ability to clone large amount of production data into test environment. So they have this is their prod box, and then this is their test box. That they want to clone the data from here to here. This is prod, and this is test. So data is stored in EC2, EBS volumes, and and modification to clone data must not affect production. The software that assesses this data requires high I/O. So people who are using this data, they do a lot of read and write. High I/O is there. So solution architect need to minimize that time. It is your what you have to do. You have to minimize the time that is required to clone the production data to test. So this move, right? This move here, this move, you have to make sure it takes less time. So out of these, D is my answer because EBS fast snapshot restore. This will speed up the process of restoring large snapshots. This is crucial for large dataset cloning because the downtime is minimized and the restore is also reliable because it has both speed and data isolation. So option A is wrong because instance store volumes, it is like memory, it is volatile. It will lose the data once instance is stopped. So it is not persistent. B, it is saying multi-attach. See, multi-attach, it allows attaching EBS volume to multiple instances, but you would still require copying the data. It is a time consuming process. That's why this will not work. And C, there is an extra step of creating and initializing new volume. It will increase your overall time of coding. You have to reduce the time, not increase that time. So our answer would be option D. So we have put uh, two parts like before this part 5 and I think part 3 we have put in the members area. Cloud kernel and Cloud Ninja members can access it. If you have not yet subscribed, do so. It will help you with cloud certifications, AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. And 1,000+ videos are here, and it all are relevant. Don't think that some videos are 2 years old, 3 years old. They are all relevant because the AWS services have not changed much. They have only added few services. They have decommissioned very rare, very few services decommissioned, but concepts and etc. You will understand. So become a member and gain access to a lot of these informative questions. You can practice. The more you practice, chances of clearing your certification goes very high.